Before we get today's toy review of Epic Proportions started, let me go ahead and apologize to a certain YouTube member for my previous actions on my last review. You know who you are. I don't have to say your name, but I'm going to say it anyway. Piog, you are a great reviewer. I just like the fact that you're more of a Transformer fanatic than you are a Kamen Rider, so I got a little carried away with my last review. What I said, I didn't mean anything. I really didn't mean for anybody to take it really seriously, but they did, and they got on me about it. So, for my pleasure, and your pleasure as well, I present a gift to you. 15 seconds of destruction! Red is Power back with another toy review of Epic Proportions, and today we are looking in at a request video done by Wake Angel. So this is for you, my friend. You asked for it, I'm listening to you guys, and this is a fine example right here. This one is for you. He is a great customizer. You should check out his channel and his DeviantArt page. Let him know I sent you, and once you see all his custom goodness of Sonic figures, you'll be interested. I bet you will. You'll be hooked on his channel, you'll subscribe, and you'll even ask him to do a commission for you. Which I don't think he does it for free. I know I sure as hell wouldn't. So, that being said, we are looking at Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing Shadow figure with his motorcycle. Which, if it had a name, I don't remember what it's actually called because I don't have the package anymore, and I don't have the game. Yeah. Weak. But other than that, I mean, everybody knows who the hell Shadow the Hedgehog is. He's pretty much the rival of Sonic the Hedgehog. Pretty much they're one and the same, as they're both intended on speed, and they both know the power of chaos control. Except Shadow does it better. Anyway, let's take a look at the Shadow figure while we got the time. So, yeah, this is my only Shadow figure, to be honest. I never actually did get the original release of 3-inch Shadow figure from Jazzwares. Which pretty much the only difference between that one and this one is the fact that this one has open holes in his hands where you can actually store like guns or something. You know, pretty much Shadow's theme right there. He likes to use handheld combat weapons and military vehicles and a motorcycle. So that's usually Shadow right there. A G.I. Joe gun works perfect with this figure. I've even tested some of the McFarlane Toys Halo figure weapons, and they look pretty good in his hands as well. Especially a shotgun. I don't know why, I think he looks good holding a shotgun. Too bad I don't have one with me for this review, but I didn't think about bringing one with me. So, weak. But, I mean, other than that, let's take a look at the sculpt. I mean, this definitely shouts out Shadow right here. I mean, look at that face. Definitely got the look of Shadow. Notice a little paint sloppiness right here. That's the real problem with this one. This is the early release of the Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing Shadow figure, where it pretty much splashed on his stripes onto his spikes. You can see the difference, really. Yeah, see how it stands out? Yeah, I know later on releases actually had spray painted on, but instead this looks like it was brushed on. But other than that, I mean, it is a pretty cool figure, and they're really one and the same with each other. For articulation, Shadow's got not a ball joint, but it's more of a swivel joint. I mean, full 360 to his head. He's got a universal joint, as Wake Angel likes to call it, which sounds pretty cool. Universal joint at the shoulders. I mean, it goes in any place you want. Can't go too far because the head gets in the way, obviously, that big head. Elbow joint, 90 degrees. That's about as much as you're going to get out of that. He's got a wrist rotation at both arms, which is nice. Pretty much the same over here. It's got a waist cut, which is kind of cool. Full 360. Very nice. And unlike Sonic, it's not an eyesore, and we all know why that is. Universal leg joint. It goes up, it goes back, and it goes in and out like this. You have to turn it to the side since it's a V-cut, which I really don't like that. But it is what it is. Knee joint, 90 degrees, good enough. And last but not least, he's also got, feet rotation. Kind of cool. This is the Shadow that actually has the detail on the bottom of his shoes. I don't think the original release actually had this. I don't think. And you're probably noticing the thumbtacks on the bottom of his shoes. Well, me, I like to keep my figures stabilized where they can actually stand up. So yeah, it works best. For that method, I'd say check out sonicgear.org and just look up their custom pages, because I left an article on there for them anyway, and they pretty much approved it and slapped it on their channel. So I was the one that came up with this idea, and don't forget it. So there's that. And now let's take a look at his motorcycle, which is called the Motorcycle. I don't know if it has a different name. But like I said earlier, this is nothing more than just the motorcycle that was used in Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, which is kind of nice. I like the fact that we get his theme motorcycle. It's pretty cool. It's also got his Shadow the Hedgehog logo, which is very nice on both sides. This side here and this side right here. Got a nice headlight, except that this little gap right here to let you know that it's a separate piece. Just kind of like an eyesore. They should have slapped a sticker on something. I mean, that's, like I said, kind of an eyesore. But other than that, I mean, the wheels do rotate for a pretty good amount of time. I mean, sure, it's no Rippin' Rider, but then again, that has flicking missiles, and I don't like flicking missiles. There's only one problem I really have with this motorcycle, and it's not the paintwork. The paintwork's pretty good. I would have preferred silver over gray, but I mean, that's not a problem. A problem is that this motorcycle really has issues standing up. The kickstand is too short. If you will see it right here, I've got it laying down straight, but the wheels are touching the ground. Unlike the kickstand, there's a gap. So it's really hard to get this thing to stand up unless it's tilted to the side. Why it stands up when it's tilted to the side, I have no idea. That's just the way it is with mine. I'm sure it's different for everybody else's. But, like all motorcycle vehicles, you gotta have a figure to ride them in order to have a purpose for them. And that's the best part about Shadow. I mean, Shadow can pretty much grab the handlebars, unlike the Dragon Cycle for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. The foot soldiers can't grip the handlebars whatsoever, especially with their gimmick. Shadow can hold his handlebars, which is nice. And, if you will notice very carefully, he is actually sitting down, and he's got his feet on the pedal. How cool is that? And I like this. Unlike the Rippin' Rider from the Ninja Turtles line, the front wheel actually turns. And if you look, it actually gives like a little gimmick here for Shadow. I mean, he's moving. Look at that. He's still got his feet on the pedal, and yet his arms are moving with the motorcycle to make it look like he's actually turning the thing. Best used for stop motion. I really like that. That is just so cool. So, overall, I really love this thing. It is great. If you are a huge Shadow the Hedgehog fan like I am, but not even close in comparisons to Sonic, no offense Shadow, I mean, this thing is well worth the look at. If you like Shadow the Hedgehog the game, or if you like Sega All-Stars Racing, Shadow's vehicle, and all that kind of stuff, if you just love Shadow, you need this for your collection. You gotta have it. You don't have a complete collection of Shadow merchandise without this thing. I mean, you really, really don't. And for some quick size comparisons, just before we get to the requested one, let's take a look at Shadow compared to Decker from the Power Rangers Super Samurai line. Instead, how's about we put somebody right next to him that's pretty much the same size as Shadow? This Sonic figure, the translucent Sonic figure, which, I refer to as the Devil. Since as the request that I did not do in the last video, here it is for you, Wake Angel. The Rippin' Rider compared to the Shadow the Hedgehog motorcycle. There's the scale between the two, my friend. As you can see, the Rip and Rider is definitely bigger because obviously this is a 5-inch figure and this is a 3-inch scale figure. So there's your size comparisons, and that's pretty much going to do it for this review. There really is nothing else to talk about. I do recommend it. Like I said, if you're a big Shadow the Hedgehog fan, as I am, you need it. You gotta have it for your collection. If you're just getting into Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing and you want to collect the merchandise, go for it. I mean, you definitely need this motorcycle, and you definitely need this Shadow figure. For one thing, unlike the earlier release or the original release of Shadow the Hedgehog, this one has open hands where you could put weapons in his hands. I mean, that's just Shadow. He uses weapons. You just gotta have it. And that will do it, guys. I've got nothing else to say, so I'm going to put an end to this review once and for all. That is it. That is the end of the review of the Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing 3-inch Shadow figure with motorcycle. If you got any questions or comments or any requests, leave them down below. I'll answer them when I have time. And until the next toy review, guys, this is Red is Power signing out. Thank you very much for watching this, and I will see you next time. Take care.